Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. It's morning somewhere, which means it's time again. Thursday's edition of the show is here. We've come to the end of another week. I can't believe it. I don't know where the time is going this year. I really don't. But here we are, and I'm so glad that you're here. So whether it's morning, noon, or night, I thank you for joining the show and spending time with the Faceless Many. If you're just seeing my face for the first time, my name is Evan. I work in the Web3 industry, which means blockchain. It means the future internet. And don't worry, it's not as crazy as technical as it sounds. And if you're interested in crypto or curious about blockchain because you're seeing the incredible speculation that's happening right now on assets like Bitcoin, you're wondering, am I too late? You're wondering, how will this change the world? You're wondering, is it going to be a good thing for people like me? What if it all goes wrong? Then don't worry, you're totally in the right place, especially if you want to learn how to understand this stuff beyond money, beyond hype, beyond speculation, to get how it's really going to impact everyday people like us. Then this is your show. I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, Mr. Alex Popovich, and you can find us here every Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, and go back to catch up with basics, fundamentals, on our YouTube page at Faceless_Labs. And of course, we also have a Discord community where you can hang out with us all the time. Ask us your questions here, ask us your questions there, and we will rise up together. That's what we say at the Faceless Many, because it's all about coordination, people, getting together. And I'm glad to be able to do it with you. And you, Alex, how you been, man? How's your morning going?
Slow.
I understand. Me too.
I'm
I was
a little
all set up
behind.
and ready to go when I realized I was missing my phone stand. I use it, when I'm doing a gig, so I had to run out. And then I was all set up and ready to go and realized I didn't have my charger. So it's like, it takes a lot of work to support this phone.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you understand.
Of course.
But welcome everybody. Welcome in. Let us know if you've got questions about crypto, if you've got questions about blockchain. The theme on our show this week is gaming, but the pattern on our show is that Thursdays tend to be, real loose, real informal. We're going to go through some news headlines. There's plenty of news to talk about. And honestly, this is one of those days we could probably just go back and forth and speculate on the news of the last 24 hours. So maybe we'll do that. But let us know what questions you have. And thank you again for being here. Today, of course, is Thursday, which means we have something for you. We wouldn't ask you to tune in to spend time on our show without trying to give you something in return. And we try to do that with knowledge. We try to do that with a space you can connect with other people who are learning. But everybody loves gifts. And so a big part of that is the POAP. It is our collectible NFT that you can redeem for zero cost, get a limited piece of digital art. I'm going to pull it up on my phone here. And Alex, would you mind giving them the spiel and telling them how they could, if they're not familiar, collect this POAP and start getting into crypto assets with with this cool piece of free art?
For sure. So a POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. And it is just kind of a cool way to memorialize the fact that you did a thing by putting proof of the thing you did on a blockchain forever. And POAPs are also pretty cool just because they are completely free. You don't need to do any of the usual, like gatekeepy, learn a new crypto protocol hurdles that can happen. So there's no need to create a wallet. There's no need to remember a seed phrase. There's no need to send or approve transactions or any of that kind of stuff. It's literally just like signing up for any other free app. So download the POAP app, POAP, or I think you can get it, Evan, from the website, poap.xyz.
Yep, that's right.
Anyway, once you have that, head over to our Discord, discord.gg/themany. And all the way up at the top, there's a free to access channel called the Bot Hub. And that main panel there has a button that says POAP. Click the button that says POAP. It will prompt you to enter a password, which Evan's going to give you here. And then all you need to do is hit enter. It'll give you a link. That link will let you mint your free free POAP. It's a pretty cool way, I think, to like experiment with it without having to like spend anything or do anything more than spend a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you will own an NFT. The NFT will afford you, the visibilities and the benefits of having something Web3 related, and you don't have to buy anything to do it or pay for any gas or any of that bullshit. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. And we really like it because this is a great way for people to see an NFT that is like the NFTs they've heard about, meaning it points to a piece of provably unique collectible digital art like a trading card would, but it costs them nothing. You don't have to expose yourself to any risk, and it's really, really easy. It's a fun way to start, like Alex says, proving you did things online that you can't really prove any other way. And Alex spun up this awesome piece of art and a couple others for a gaming week, and you can claim your very own when I give you the secret word. I will tell you what the secret word is a little bit later on in the show. For now, just know that you could have one of these. I'm going to collect it. Collecting them is a lot of fun, and we spend a lot of time thinking about the cool ways that we can make the POAPs work for the show, which is why we're working on building out the infrastructure, figuring all the different places we want to be out. So check it out and like it. Really, really like it. Alex, what do you think? News?
Well, yep.
Big time news.
Two questions from Bionic we can happily get to. We talked about Gala. We talked about Gala a little bit yesterday, but we can do it again. And then why Coinbase stopped the Bitcoin move yesterday. That's a pretty strong way of describing what happened. I think this is one of the things that you'll notice.
Yeah, tell it like it is, Alex.
Yeah, the longer that you are here, the more times you will see these big centralized exchanges experience service outages. It happens. They posted an explanation yesterday, basically just saying that they had too much traffic and some stuff broke. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think they stopped anything. It was like down for a couple hours and every other exchange was still working, which was hilariously noted by Kraken tweeting just in, still up. And that was pretty funny.
That was wild. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with the idea that like if something crazy is happening, like someone could try to do something to stop it in crypto. Like, for example, Robinhood has been caught and taken before the Senate for doing things like that before. It's totally not an unfounded accusation to say that like one of these big centralized companies would try to do something to like manipulate prices or something. I truly believe this one was not it. It was back up super quick. They didn't prevent anyone from like accessing. The only services that were offline were buying and selling. But if you were trying to just transfer your stuff, I didn't hear that particular service was down. And as far as like the zero balances, I saw zero balance for like 15 minutes and then all my shit was back. So it was a weird one.
Actually, that kind of a glitch is not that uncommon. I feel like with Coinbase specifically, I feel like that happens kind of frequently in such a way that I tell people like really don't be worried about it.
Yeah. So it was annoying. I'll totally give you that. I think though that every creator who sprinted to make 6 videos about it was not doing us any favors. Just put it that way.
Yeah. Machiste says Coinbase is legit as it gets. Hanlon's razor was probably a mistake. Yeah, it seems most likely.
Yeah, the thing to remember about Coinbase is that crypto is like walking on a knife edge with most of the regulators in this country. So any like big blatant things that would be done would probably draw some attention from those people. And Coinbase is a publicly traded company, and I believe they're the only publicly traded exchange in America. So I don't think they would risk all of that for this. I think they legitimately just, I think they probably should have planned ahead a little bit better to handle more users on a, crazy attention spike like the one that we've been seeing lately.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think it was a little innocuous. Thought y'all said crypto was going to crash. Not on this show. If we said the words crypto is going to crash, it was probably in the context of a sentence where it could crash or it could keep going, because that's about as close to a price prediction as we're going to make it. So
and you know who had a really good video about that was Mac the other day. Our guy Mac Lorden posted that video about how long will it take if you are a naysayer for you to say that crypto is here to stay.
that was a good point.
You stop treating it like a fad. It will be volatile in the sense of like Bitcoin. The price is going to do crazy things probably for the rest of its life. Certainly until, I don't know, 2149 when the supply is distributed. And many monetary cryptocurrencies will absolutely be volatile. And then there are others that will work to ease volatility or eliminate it entirely. And some cryptocurrencies just have nothing to do with money whatsoever. Most cryptocurrencies have nothing to do with money. It's just the most notorious use case, and you can understand why when people pay so much attention to it. It's pretty natural. And Alex and I are very, I appreciate you for, for trying to hold us accountable. So let me understand where you're coming from if you want to clarify further. Because we always want to do a better job of not misleading people. I was talking about it yesterday with my dad. It frustrates me to no end that we spend so much time thinking and talking about this and are not as precise as we hope to be. That's no excuse.
No,
we don't want to give any kind of, as Alex says, financial advice. That's not what we're here to do.
Yeah, it's as simple as that kind of interaction with a viewer is so aggressively like not what I'm after that we make it a point to not say things that are going to lead you to that. Because no matter how many times someone who like is trying to talk about this will say, this isn't financial advice, don't buy stuff based on what I say. And, we all know that there are people who just wait until they hear someone mention the name of something and then they dip. They don't listen to any of the rest of it and they go buy it. And then if it doesn't go well for them, they'll just go back and scream at whoever said the thing. So knowing that that's how it goes, because we've been here for years, we just avoid the thing altogether. So like when we're going to talk about Gala, you'll notice I will never talk about the token price or where I think it's going to go or a price target or if I'm buying any of it or if I think it's a good time to buy or a bad time to buy or whatever, because I don't fucking know. And neither does Evan.
If we talk about those things, we talk about why. If we say, you said about Cardano yesterday, before you like criticize something about it, you said, and disclaimer, I hold Cardano. I bought it here. I did this. I think you do that really well, Alex. It's one of my favorite things about you.
Have to. The only time I've ever made a video like about an actual cryptocurrency, it got no views because my disclaimer was so long. So I just quit doing it altogether.
And also, I know we'll talk a little about Gala today, but we really did have a good conversation about it yesterday. Specifically, we were looking at the Gala and Reboot GG websites side by side. We talked a little about their lawsuit. And I'm going to upload all the recordings from this week today. So in T minus 4 hours or so, if you're interested in that conversation and context, you can go back and get it. But we'll certainly give you the clips and the highlights here. Hey, Tori, welcome. And I wonder, though, Alex, can we start with this first comment if we want to set the stage and talk about news and other stuff? It's my first bull run. And if this is your first time, if you just bought Bitcoin, my dad just bought his first crypto like 3 days ago. So, so if that's
it's wild. I vividly remember being in that exact position. And then it's funny to look at the feeling that I have now where it's like someone told me yesterday, I was scrolling through Twitter, it was like early, and someone was commenting about how, everybody was freaking out or losing their minds because of the price spike on this thing. And I was like, what does it tell you that I didn't even notice that it happened? And it was just like that you've been here for a while. Yeah. So don't worry about it. If you've been buying for 6 months, no clue what you're doing, then I would say honestly, you're probably off to a decent start because right now things are way up. So if you started buying stuff months ago, right now I would be seriously considering sensibly removing some of that from the table. If you are like way up in profits, typically, this is typical. I'll get into in a second why I think that this particular bull run might be a little different. But just know that in every bull run and every bear market, there are always speculations as to why this time it's going to be different. This time it's personal. It changes all the time. And so far, we just don't really have enough historical data to make concrete predictions about this kind of stuff. Like if you want to make predictions about the stock market, you've got 100 years of stock market price action data based on all sorts of huge different environmental, economic, global economic factors that have influenced price, and we've seen how it happened. We don't have that data for crypto, so everyone is literally just pulling this stuff straight out of their ass. Maybe referencing like one or two semi-similar moments in history, but it's only been around for, not even 15 years for the whole space. And the vast majority of these projects have maybe been here for 2 to 3 years. So just think about that. So the first piece of advice is to breathe, because the one thing that is really, I think, unhealthy, and I've caught myself doing it even so recently as this bull run, when I like took a random chance and bought a little bit of an altcoin I've never held before. And then all of a sudden I was like panic refreshing the price thing, just knowing that like the second this thing spikes 10%, I'm out or whatever. And that's just, it's just an unhealthy like habit to get yourself in. So the best way to think about it is that if you find yourself panicking, you're probably over leveraged. People say it all the time, but it's for real. You genuinely should not put more money into crypto than you can afford to lose, because as crazy as these things can spike going up, they can spike down.
Yeah.
And that kind of crazy movement when money that you can't really afford to lose is on the line is panic inducing. And a lot of this is not so much investing. I would call Bitcoin at this point probably about the only one that you're like really investing in. Maybe you could make a case for one or two others, but in the general grand scheme of things, you're not investing in crypto. You're playing a game and you're hoping for the best. So just take a step back, make sure you are honest with yourself about whether or not the amount of money that you have put into something is money that if it all disappeared tomorrow, you would be okay. And if that's not the case, then you should definitely take some off the table. Because, especially at the tail end of this run, I mean, we're up, the total crypto market cap is up another 3% today. We're 2.44 trillion. We are very, very, very close to all-time highs. And the thing about all-time high on anything is that the second you hit it, every single person in the world who holds that asset is now in profit. So it just becomes increasingly more and more likely that someone who has been buying whatever it is, if Bitcoin hits 68,000 and breaks its all-time high, just remember that very few months ago, it was $19,000. So someone is up 3x or more than 3x, more than 300% gain on a massive financial asset in less than 6 months. That doesn't happen in any other investing space with the kind of like frequency that it happens in crypto. Exactly. Like Mashiste said, Kevin O'Leary bought at 16K. People have been buying all the way from down there. And the second it hits all-time high, it would not be weird at all for a lot of those people to be like, hey, especially if they're like super stacked and these people are dealing with billions of dollars. Michael Saylor is like 5 billion in profit at this point.
Absolutely.
The country of El Salvador is up 400 million.
Who's laughing now? You know that their president is like, thank God.
Yeah. I mean, Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami, same kind of thing. These are big public figures that are, buying into this kind of stuff. It's probably only going to get more intense. I mean, especially now with the ETFs, you have like these huge financial institutions that are holding Bitcoin. Um, the price stuff is, and alts are a totally different story. They're nuts. I mean, for no reason, pick a random ass one. For no reason at all, Pepe is up like 300% in a month. Like
Well, I don't know if I would
no
say for
one's
no reason at all,
investing.
but I get what you're saying.
Well, for Mimi reasons.
Yeah. That probably wasn't helpful of me. There's reason to the madness, but it's crazy,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but the point is that no one is like holding Pepe for their 401k. They're waiting for it to be in crazy
Right.
profit so that they can dump all of it and move it into something else that they think is going to do a three
Yeah,
to
or
five to ten
Dogecoin.
x.
Michael just pinged us a while ago that Dogecoin is up
Yeah.
37%. Yeah. Um, Alex, you gave some really good advice. I didn't mean to disrupt you. And when you're done, will you kick it back to me because I'd like to
Yeah.
speak to the new person who's anxious too.
No, go for it. Then we can get to
Okay.
Mashise's questions. I think it's very interesting. It's one of the many things that I don't think people are super considering, given given the potential implications of all these big banks buying Bitcoin
Oh
and
yeah,
holding it in a
that's
different
a
way
super
than
great question, and it'll be a good place
private
to go
citizens.
next. I'm futzing with the POAP over here while you drop wisdom and knowledge. So thank you for being good
No,
at what you do.
go,
Um,
go for it.
I
Give us your take and your tool tips
yeah,
for beginner people who are panicking because this shit's crazy.
that's right. If you are panicking because you're in crypto and you're in profit, that a couple of things. Like Alex said, taking profit is great. It's good. No one ever lost money taking profit. If your goal is to grow money as an investor, you need to have a plan for taking profit. And I'll share, a framework you can use in a second, but I must say, it's worthless. Your plan might be the best, most strategic profit taking plan in the whole world. If you don't know how to do it, how to turn your crypto into dollars, and what fees you can expect and where, and how you're going to get it into your bank account so you can use it at the grocery store or enjoy it in your life, you need to learn that. Before you go any farther, you need to learn that. I recommend that you also um, experiment if you've never moved your crypto, moving it a couple of places. Let us know where you bought it, but I'm just going to assume you use an exchange like Coinbase. If you use Coinbase, they make it pretty easy to connect your bank account to sell your cash to your crypto to cash, and they have excellent tutorials. Go find one of them and just practice it. Um, you could even practice this with a fresh buy if you wanted to. Buy $5 of anything. I don't recommend Ethereum. I recommend a stable coin. It'll have lower fees. It'll move quicker, less volatility, and you're just spending the money to learn how to do it. You're spending $5 kind of thing. Convert some of your Bitcoin into that. Move it to a wallet, like a MetaMask. If you've never done that before, that's important to know how to do. And eventually, I recommend you learn how to use a hardware wallet like a ledger. I think that's probably the most important thing we can do is learn the difference between exchanges like Coinbase, who are custodians of your information, software wallets that hold the keys that let you access crypto, but which are exposed to the internet and therefore vulnerable, and then the secure creme de la creme, a hardware wallet that never touches the internet, that holds your keys securely and keeps your crypto safe from everybody and can't be lost unless you forget it. So know those things and know how to turn your crypto back into dollars. Then have a plan for how you're going to take profit, because it's more helpful to say, I know that when my money 2x's, for example, I will take out 25% of my initial investment. And if it 2x's again, I'll take out 25% more. Um, as Alex mentioned, emotions can be a helpful teacher only insofar as they clue you in to how you feel. If you're feeling panicked right now, that's a good sign you might be overexposed. It could be that you're just worried because you don't know how to move this stuff around, but it could also be you're overexposed. And so you need to find a profit schedule that works for you to help you regulate your emotions And that's how you'll get to this place where Alex and I are, where we're like, oh, it's up 30% today. Oh, it's down 30% today. We're like that old guy in the back of the trench who's been there for 6 decades, just remembering what it was like in the early days, kind of thing. And then the final. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I don't want to cut you off.
No, it's okay. The final thing I would say is I think it's really important, if you're not, to get plugged in with other people that are not trying to sell you anything, that you can ask questions to, because I guarantee you are going to run into something where Coinbase goes down or there's a new type of asset. The crypto space is moving so quickly that it's really quite hard to keep up, and no one person is going to be able to do it all. I recommend you get in a community of people who are also trying to learn this stuff, who are also doing this, and that will accelerate your learning journey. It'll help you keep each other safe. It'll help you keep each other curious. And it honestly, I think will make you more profitable, because it's going to incentivize you to keep coming back to learning about this thing. And the community I recommend, obviously, is ours. it's a Discord community, but we're here on the show. We try to make it easy for people who, like to read or like to watch or like to be online or off, whatever. We've got episodes of this show on YouTube at Faceless_Labs. I recommend starting with our Web3 101 week. I also recommend the Rising Up podcast that's there. And most of all, I recommend the Discord server. It's totally free, always going to be free. Discord.gg/the-many. And if you've never used Discord before, it can be, a little learning curve, but you can get up to speed pretty quickly with a great community of people who are friendly there. So join us there, Discord.gg/the-many, and come say hi in the general chat and keep coming back, so that if you have questions, there will be people there that will help you. Those are my tips. What were you going to say, brother?
I was going to summarize and add just a couple things, because if you're on TikTok watching us give you this information, then there's a good chance that you will see other people giving you other information about crypto. And I just want to say that you need to, whenever anyone is talking to you about this, you need to take kind of the temperature of the way that they're delivering information to you. Because some people will rely on sensationalism to sell their message to get more attention. And sensationalism will almost always lead you astray. So if someone is like being way too animated about it, or just like trying to impress upon you the urgency of this situation, like I saw a very unfortunate tweet yesterday from someone who I know has a very large audience that was like, if you're upset that you're missing out right now, quit being so fucking late. And I was like, okay. Of all the things that are going to catalyze someone to make a rash, bad financial decision, something like that is it. Especially because that person is also right now saying this is the last bull run of all time. If you fuck this up, you will never redeem yourself. So just think about that. So I wrote down my bullet list of lessons. So just to summarize, here you go. Breathe. Panic is telling. Listen to your panic. If you are panicking, it's probably a good indication that you're over leveraged. Fear is pervasive, and fear is the most common tool to sell anyone information right now. If you want to try to trick someone into listening to you because you're not confident enough in the value of your information, or you're really more concerned with getting views on it, you will scare the shit out of them first. So if someone's trying to scare you, then just realize that they're not doing it to teach you anything. They're doing it to get themselves views. In the same vein, ignore sensationalism. Plan right now. The only thing that you can plan is that you're going to make a mistake. So if that makes you uncomfortable, then this probably isn't for you. And there's no shame in that. Taxes are not a big deal. I see so much fear-mongering content about how don't sell at 20% because you owe taxes on it. The tax rate may be bullshit, and I may have lots of personal problems with the way that we tax capital gains, and I may think that all of that is garbage, but one fact remains that the capital gains rate is not 100%. So that leads me into the next lesson. No one ever went broke taking profit.
Yeah.
So if you are avoiding selling something that you are in the green on just because someone has tried to scare you about capital gains tax, they are full of shit. And most of these people are going to tell you that they're like in for six figures and they've seen six figures come and go. Most of it is a lie. There's no way to verify any of this stuff online. So just keep that in the back of your head. But taxes are not that big of a deal. No one ever went broke taking profit. And the only thing that you can plan on for sure is that you're going to make a mistake, and don't worry about it. The only thing I would add to what you said, Evan, is absolutely make a plan for taking profit. However, I also know from personal experience that you can sit down and like write your plan for taking profits down, and then the second you're staring down the barrel of something that's up 50% and your gut is telling you should remove some of it, but then the other part of you is saying, what if it doubles again from here? Your plan goes right out the window. I have broken my own personal plan for profit taking more times than I have followed it. And again, this is over years. So the one thing that you just need to really, really remember for profit taking is that greed is going to get you wrecked every time. And if you are feeling greedy about something because it could go higher, think about where it is right now and know that the worst thing that's going to happen if you take the profit is that you will miss out on some more profit. And the worst thing that will happen if you don't take the profit is that you will lose all of it that you just made. So it's a wild ride. Like Evan said, you got to determine like what is it that you're trying to do. Are you trying to just like buy some crypto to have for the long term? In which case I would agree, like buy it and move it to a cold storage wallet and forget about it.
Don't let people bully you. Forget those people.
Yeah. Don't do that with a meme coin. I'm talking about like the big stuff, the important stuff that you feel like you have a reason for, the stuff that you feel like you can understand, like why it might be worth it for you to invest in. And then if you're getting into this to try to be a day trader, because videos on the internet have led all of us to believe that being a day trader is really easy, then what you need to do is go follow the TikTok account Trade, Invest, Simplify, all one word. His name is Ken. He's a good friend of ours. He has been a professional day trader for like almost 15 years, and he will tell you that it is really hard and it is not as easy as it sounds. And all of that kind of stuff is mostly like sold to you by the people who want to convince you to pay for their like side hustle course or whatever. Yeah. Being a day trader is really, really difficult. That's why I don't do it, because even after years, I would still screw that up.
And almost all traders are outperformed by the market, by people who hold and follow a plan. And it is your plan. Your plan, no one else's. We love that people want to collaborate on things. That's why we don't give financial advice. When we talk about investments, they are clearly not one size fits all. And anybody who tells you they are is trying to sell you something. They are not your teachers. Definitely not. You wanna hop on this Machiste question? Machiste, did you see what Machiste said in the chat? It is worth reading out loud just because it's fantastic. Don't look in your neighbor's bowl to make sure. Only look in your neighbor's bowl to make sure they have enough, not that you have enough. I think if everybody shares, that's how we access the abundance, man. Everyone's gonna have more than they need. I love it. So we're looking in each other's bowls today. I'll show you mine if you show me yours, and we're filling them up. What was the question that Machiste had? Do you have it on tap so we can read it again? I know it was about alts and ETFs.
Yeah, let me scroll back up to it.
I just don't want to. I'm not sure
what fairness doctrine. First of all, that's a cool last name. I'm not sure what comment I just said that made you think that this was a typical go buy crypto live stream. But if there was one of those things, let me know what it is, because that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do here.
Put it on the back of a Pepe token and send it to my wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. She posted it again at the bottom of the chat. Thank you very much. The question is, will there not be a run for alts because Bitcoin in ETFs can't rotate in? Do you want to give context on what he's asking for anybody who?
Yeah. So It's a good question
It
because the
is.
question is
It is.
essentially, if we reference past bull runs, typically what has happened is that Bitcoin has gone on a rally, and then lots of people have made money on Bitcoin, and they have sensed that that rally was coming to an end. So they took their Bitcoin profits off the table and they put it into a bunch of altcoins, because altcoins typically move even farther in higher percentage swings than Bitcoin does. And then they tried to, capitalize on taking their profit, rolling into something that was going to make them even more profit. So that's typically the way you'd see it. Some people will show you like a little typical calendar, Bitcoin season, altcoin season. I don't even remember how the whole thing goes,
And
but
then like meme coin season often,
yeah.
and then money
Um,
moves out of the market and then comes back in. It's like winter, spring, summer, fall.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of the seasonal rotation. So that's what he's asking about. And the difference between this particular Bitcoin run and previous Bitcoin runs that we are speculating about right now, we do not know that this is how this is going to work for sure. But this is kind of the reason that some people are saying maybe this one's different, is because a lot of the buying of Bitcoin lately, in fact, we're fast approaching $10 billion worth, has been just in the last couple weeks. And it's been, what was it, January 11th,
Yeah.
that this stuff officially started, and then trading opened the week after.
For some reason, the 17th is in my mind. Don't ask me why.
Okay.
It's not. It's just in
Anyway,
my mind.
it's
We were on the show when it happened.
yeah, not important. Point is, the people buying a lot of the Bitcoin right now that could be leading to these big this price surge, the rapid run towards all time highs for Bitcoin, are these big financial institutions, the BlackRocks, the ARK Invests, the Fidelities, all this sort of stuff. And so it's not the same, it's potentially not the same as retail owning lots of Bitcoin and then being ready to, at the drop of a hat with no warning, sell it. ETFs don't really get to behave that way. And so what we're all kind of waiting to find out is whether or not the ETF owners, these big banks, are going to sell any of this, or if day trading is going to happen within their ETFs by the people who are purchasing the ETF shares. And so if that doesn't happen, the profits that people are seeing from Bitcoin would theoretically not be able to roll in to would not be able to roll into altcoins the same way that they have before. And so Mashise's question is, do you think that that would mean we wouldn't see the same kind of altcoin run as we have previously? I guess I have two thoughts. The first of which is just that I have absolutely no fucking clue. The second thought is that I think that just based on how low Bitcoin went, there is enough retail that is in profit, and there's enough like big people who have been buying a shitload of it who may rotate profit out and may rotate it into altcoins. The Michael Saylors of the world, who are not confined by the same kinds of limitations that a big, regulated traditional financial industry institution may be confined by. So there are still people who are in a lot of profit who could take it off the table and could rotate it into altcoins. Altcoins are going on a pretty big run right now. There's a lot of altcoins that are up pretty significantly. What's interesting is that Bitcoin is like neck and neck percentage wise, and they're all going at the same time, which is also a deviation from the norm. So this is one where, unfortunately, I say we just have to wait and see. But I don't think it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't have the same kind of altcoin run, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we did have another altcoin explosion, just because I think there's still plenty of retail money floating around, and there's still a tremendous amount of people who are probably not all the way back in.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people who are taking profits right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Right now is not a bad time to take profits. Pretty much everything is up from where it was 2 months ago. So
yeah. Again, your quarterly show reminder. We'll probably say it again on the show today. Don't forget to take profits.
yeah.
Alex, something you say often about cycles generally, like this Bitcoin to altcoin to meme coin cycle that people have made graphs out of, is we only have like 12 years of data, and we're out here making graphs on it, as if it's empirical. And sure, the space moves fast, but this is totally different. It absolutely is different. And so it's it's already impossible to speculate because nobody's got a crystal ball. But the fact that we have ETFs, that we got ETFs in a halving year or halving year, if you want to be technical about it, the the narrative is new, and like the system is kind of new. So we're gonna find out. But my suspicion is that I I would imagine that most people who are buying the ETFs are not they're not people like us. Meaning
Well,
they probably don't want to own their own Bitcoin. Or maybe they're diversifying. I don't know. But most of them are people who are getting exposure for the first time through institutions they trust, are happy to have someone else be their own custodian, are probably not as excited about getting exposure to altcoins that aren't also on ETFs. This is another reason I think the ETH ETF is gonna get traction. I think if it's approved by later this year, if we get one, I think you will see people diversifying their Bitcoin ETFs into ETFs. It will be like your next step, the way that I recommend MetaMask is your next step after getting a Coinbase account, for those people who bought the ETFs. I definitely think, though, that, for me personally, um, the and what I see across people like us is that there remains interest in the new stuff, the different stuff, the stuff that is not Bitcoin. The profit seekers are more interested in it because it's more volatile. The market caps are smaller. It has more room to grow. The techies are more interested in it because it's faster, cheaper, easier to build stuff on it. I mean, they're even expanding the Bitcoin ecosystem into BRC20 tokens. So
mhm.
the potential, the surface area for people to build, to invest their attention or their money is going to increase. I don't know, like you, where it's going to go, but those are the things I'm kind of thinking about. It doesn't change my personal investment thesis as a builder or as like a speculator, um,
I
because of the
think
options that are present there that aren't present anywhere else in the world.
to push back a tiny bit,
Yeah,
I don't think that we would be seeing the ETFs approved and then immediately billions of dollars from brand new, never invested in Bitcoin investors who have just been waiting, chomping at the bit to spend a ton of money on a Bitcoin exchange traded product. I don't think that that's the case because anyone like that, I think, could have, if they were that anxious about it, I don't think they would have waited for the ETF quite that long. I'm sure some of those people do fall into that category, but I feel like some of those people would probably be on Coinbase because they don't need to worry about custody on a place like Coinbase, and they would have seen like publicly traded company, FDIC insurance options. I feel a little bit better about this. Um, my impression of like what's got to be the maybe a big chunk of it are companies that have been buying Bitcoin anyway and trading it, who are now like, fucking finally, we can do this more easily and we don't need to hire blockchain people to do the Bitcoin stuff. We can just buy it the way we've been buying everything else for our entire history.
yeah,
Followed by crypto natives who have been very angry that they didn't have like great 401k or IRA options to get more exposure to crypto beyond like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust or something, which is not the same as owning like a spot ETF share. So that was like I'm sure that there are new people. It would be crazy if that was that much volume. And we're talking like pushing $8 billion of like total trading volume by volume on these ETFs. That's a tremendous amount of money. Like that would
yeah.
imply that a lot of I'm curious to see like user data, buyer data on these ETFs and like how many people have actually
Yeah.
put their shares in it, that kind of stuff. I'm very curious about that.
I want to address something real quick about mining crypto. Someone asked about mining crypto. I don't personally have a mining setup, and most people I know who are getting curious about mining right now, I'm going to answer this whether you're learning about it for the first time or you're a crypto guy trying to get into it, kind of thing. Um, Both people, I would say, unless you have millions of dollars, millions, probably more than 10, that you are willing to invest on infrastructure to mine Bitcoin specifically will not be a profitable venture for you, except in what you might learn from the experience. The industry of mining Bitcoin is so competitive and so expensive. And so based on probability and chance, it's made expensive because what they are doing is using lots of energy to solve complex equations. And the amount of energy taken increases over time. And so to win, you have to guess a lot of numbers, do a lot of math. It's gambling.
Imagine
Mhm.
the non-technical analogy here would be, imagine that you want to get into Bitcoin mining right now, and you're just a single solitary person who wants to like look at buying, a single ASIC miner or some single rig, and set it up and start hashing. That's basically the equivalent of, let's say Evan is the institution over here with 10 football fields worth of warehouses all also mining Bitcoin, because that's literally what you're up against. It's the same thing as you getting a single dart once a week and a dartboard that's 50 yards away, and you throw that dart at that dartboard and try to hit the bullseye. Meanwhile, Evan's over here with a dump truck just pouring darts onto dartboards that are right in front of him on the ground. Like, who's more likely to hit the bullseye every time? It's Evan. Now, the interesting thing is that last year and the year before, I want to say they were both last year, but someone can fact check me on this. We saw two almost back-to-back Bitcoin blocks that were solved completely and solitarily by a single mining computer. And they got the entire block reward for that, and that's fucking incredible. The odds of that happening are astronomically low.
He had a good day.
Yeah, so that
at the end of the day, it's only it's only a couple of Bitcoins still. Only a couple. But
right, but like if you're the one guy who bought one computer and you solved a Bitcoin block, and last year, pre-halving, right now the rewards for solving a block are 6.25 Bitcoin, which is, for anyone keeping track, over $300,000 right now. That's a pretty good day for your mining rig. But most likely, if you do get a solitary rig and you start mining, you're going to get the experience of like setting up the mining software and like actually doing the process. And then even if your rig does participate in the solving, you're going to get such a minuscule amount of Bitcoin in return that it won't even cover the electricity spike on your bill from running that rig 24/7.
But there are lots of like hardwares. There's stuff that you can get if you want to just get in. This person updated the comment and said like about we have a friend who started mining Caspa a while back. There are lots of any proof of work token can be mined. And you can do it with the same kind of setup. And honestly, I understand that the ASIC machines, the GPUs right now are like, it's all hard to get, but you basically need some kind of graphic. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, expensive. You basically need some kind of motherboard, some kind of graphics card, some kind of cooling system. I've heard people do it with like Raspberry Pi setups. And then you got to get the protocol for the network, the source code, and just run it on that machine. I think I can't recommend any, what's the most profitable thing to mine? Probably not Bitcoin. I feel confident telling you that, but that's not my, there's more.
No, Mishiste hit it right on the head, which is exactly where I was going to take this. If you want to be involved with the process 100%. Of mining, which, in case you're unaware, the process of mining is basically just adding your own security contribution to the Bitcoin network to make it more safe, more secure, adding another person who's checking the math, so to speak, which is exactly how staking works on a proof of stake blockchain, like what Ethereum is now, what Polkadot is, what Cardano is, what tons of these other layer ones are. So you can do the same thing, contribute in the same way to a network simply by acquiring a bit of the native currency, whatever, if it's ETH, if it's ADA, if it's DOT, whatever it is, and staking it. You become a validator, a verifier, a math checker on that network, and you are paid for your efforts in the native token, so you earn interest on it. And it's a way more affordable, way more beneficial way that you can get into that. So if you looked at what the token interest payout was on Polkadot, for example, average is like 8%. So that's pretty decent. 8% APY is pretty solid. And they pay out rewards like every other week. So you can get yourself a little bit of that and stake it somewhere and just start earning the interest. And you need to look into it because there are lockup periods. Like if you stake, for example, Eagled has a staking option. If you stake Eagled and then you decide you wanted to withdraw it, you have to wait 10 days for it to unlock from the network before you can move it again. So, just kind of stuff to keep in mind. It's not just as simple as get into staking. We could do a thing about staking. I'm sure we'll get to it at some point.
I actually think that might be a good mini show to do, maybe leading up to the halving, mining and staking, because I would advocate people stake. It's such a good learning experience. And honestly, setting up mining is a good learning experience too. I have not done it for myself, but I have joined people who are doing it. And there are so many different levels that you can participate at if you're interested in that kind of thing. And learning even one of them will kind of help you pay dividends. The next time an opportunity comes around, you'll feel like, oh, I can do this, or be able to decide if it's for you or not. Yeah. Good advice. Mashiste's having a good day.
You're on fire, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very, very much. We got a question here, too, about decentralized exchanges that I was hoping this person would elaborate on. So thank you, first of all, for your question, Bobo. If you want to buy a token that you can't get on Coinbase, there are a couple of things you need to keep in mind. A place to go could be Uniswap. A place to go could be PancakeSwap. Generally, what you're looking for is a type of establishment called a decentralized exchange. Coinbase is centralized, which means they have all kinds of rules and hoops they have to jump through in terms of what they can offer and who they can offer it to. We got into crypto because we didn't want anybody to tell us what to do with our stuff. So we have decentralized exchanges too. And there are a few considerations you need. If you're looking for a small token on a decentralized exchange, number one is you got to make sure, gotta make sure that you are using the correct contract address to find that token, that you're using a blockchain explorer like Etherscan to verify the address somebody posted on Twitter, that you're looking at the project's website, if they have one, their official socials, you're checking the URLs, because it is not uncommon for a low market cap token, for an obscure token, a small token, unlisted so-called tokens, that somebody will post one or more copycats, make them very convincing, and take your money. So check the contract, go to a decentralized exchange, and I would also, just for the future, remember this phrase. Google it. Decentralized exchange for insert crypto network. Decentralized exchange for Avalanche, decentralized exchange for Solana network, because Uniswap, I think they do a couple of network tokens, but they're primarily an Ethereum network exchange. PancakeSwap is for the Binance network primarily. And you want to make sure you understand which network your token is on and that you are using an exchange that supports that network. Otherwise, you're going to be looking around and pasting the contract. You're going to make yourself susceptible to somebody taking your money. And from there, it's just a matter of transferring crypto from Coinbase to the exchange. You put in the contract address, you tell it how many tokens you want, you send the money, and you wait a little bit. I think that's about it. Alex, would you add anything? And Bobo, do you have any deeper question beyond that?
No. I would just say that as far as the centralized exchanges go too, there are varying degrees of centralization. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, as you get farther away from that side of the spectrum, you get closer to the horrendous user experience side of the spectrum. Dude, there's just dog hair just floating through the air in front of me. So what I mean by that is Coinbase, very centralized, government regulated, publicly traded company. KuCoin, not. You can't even use it in every country. It's as close, in my opinion, to a decentralized exchange that you can get on a centralized exchange. But I'll tell you, I've been in crypto for years and I hate using KuCoin. It's a horrible user experience. It looks like crap. It's so hard to navigate. It's next to, if you're brand new and you were trying to find an altcoin to buy and KuCoin had it and you opened KuCoin, you'd be like, dude, what is this? It's
like the cockpit of a spaceship.
Yeah. Someone started building an exchange and then quit halfway through and just let it go live. Dude, it's bad. However, they do offer lots of altcoins that the other exchanges do not offer. Um, on the other hand, the big ones, the Binances, the Krakens, and the Coinbases of the world are they're kind of like getting into listing the crazy nonsense meme stuff because they get trade volume and that's what these exchanges need to make money. So
Oh
uh,
my gosh. Alex, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I have to give an extra special shout out to a friend of mine in the audience. Shloms is here,
no
and
shit.
if we're talking about gaming this week, you've got to know. Totally off theme. This is a game and a half, a new genre of art. I love Shloms. What I've talked about you on the show before, Shloms. And actually, before I talk about you, I don't want you to think it's all about you. Though this is a great shout out. If you are just tuning into the show, you're asking a lot of new folks are here asking questions. We're so glad you're here. This is the Rise Up Morning Show, and we are here every Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And these episodes go up on YouTube at Faceless Labs. Why would you watch our show? We are not here to sell you anything. We don't want you to spend your money on stuff. We want you to make a plan. We want you to learn about this space. And we want to show you examples of what crypto can do that have nothing to do with money. So I'm glad that Shloms is here. You need to Google this name. Did you see recently, Alex, when Google got all up in a tizzy because somebody somewhere started a viral meme that Gmail was going to be discontinued, that they would no longer support the product. And like in a few hours, millions of people were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was Shloms. Surprise. And I've seen a couple people do it for a couple of other apps now. I think somebody did it for Discord. And, Shloms is the one who does stuff like put a private key on the back of a piece of drywall at Home Depot or on the underside of a manhole cover, and nobody
Oh,
will ever find it unless they do. Just cool stuff with crypto. Totally nerding out. Thank you for being here, Shloms. And thank you for being here, for asking us your questions. We'll get back to your questions, but I do have to say, if you have questions about crypto, this is the place for them. We take you behind the scenes. We introduce you to the people who are making markets work and building the technology that will be at the foundation of the future internet. If you want to support the show with your gifts, that's very kind. Thank you, Anthony, to anybody who gifted. But please don't feel a need to send your money to TikTok, our overlords who give us their table scraps. Tap the screen to like us, really like us. Share the live if you find it helpful, and come back. And also, because it's the top of the hour, I do have to tell you that it's time for the secret word. I'm going to give you the secret word, at which point you will, like Alex said, take it to the Discord, discord.gg/the-many. Go to the bot hub, add the secret word to the bot hub. No spaces. It's just one word, all lowercase. And you, yes, you, my friend, can claim your very own collectible POAP featuring this beautiful piece of art, a little too zoomed in by my good colleague here, Mr. Alex Popovich. The secret word for today's POAP is rebirth. REBIRTH, rebirth. Since it's gaming week, we're talking about gaming. I wanted to honor Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Came out last night. All lowercase, no spaces. Take it to the bot hub, click the POAP button. And if you've never claimed an NFT before, you see, especially a lot of the new people here, they're like, oh, NFTs, aren't those the monkey pictures? This is going to be a great experience for you to start using tokens that can give a tangible form to the intangible things you do, like watch our show. Big part of your future. You can start learning about it totally risk-free, totally money-free right now at the Discord, discord.gg/the-many. And if you need help, talk to the friendly people in the chat because they'll help you. Go get your POAPs. Thank you, Shloms, for stopping by. That just totally made my day. I'm sorry I derailed us, but
all good.
Absolutely legendary. And Shloms probably left because I think Shloms probably doesn't appreciate too much publicity publicly. But what you gonna do, man? I'm so happy that happened. The Discord is discord.gg/the many. It sometimes gets deleted when we type it in the chat, so you can find it in my profile. You can find it in Alex's profile. Follow us and leave a comment. We'll put it somewhere. Discord.gg/the many.
Does this show up? Because they'll block it if I put an actual link.
No, but I got a comment that
hoping.
says some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. And you know what happens when I go to my settings and check out my comment settings? I have allow comments on, I have filter comments is on, but it's only for potentially unkind comments. So I don't want to uncheck it. Let me see what happens. If we start to get a bunch of terrible language and stuff, then let me know. I'm sorry I derailed this though.
What about that
perfect.
one?
There it is.
Okay, so if you
could post it across the screen. You're right. You're so right. Let me do that. I'm a little slow. So somebody was saying that they're totally new. The decentralized exchange question. You're totally new. All you have is crypto on Coinbase. Your next step, if I was going to recommend something, would be to get a MetaMask wallet and send a very small amount of crypto or an NFT to your MetaMask wallet, an amount you're not going to be sad to lose. Every cryptocurrency lives on a network. It's just information on a ledger. Every network has different capabilities, different kinds of tokens, different kinds of information that they can support. And a lot of the software we use to access it right now is do it yourself. Coinbase does it for you. But you should be familiar with a tool like MetaMask, which is a very popular, probably the easiest to use wallet from the sense that it does the most stuff. It's not intimidating like KuCoin. And you will use that wallet when you access a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, where you want to purchase these other tokens. So it's good to start experimenting with just a small amount of cryptocurrency transactions. Let us know what other questions you have. And also let me know if anybody's claimed the POAP yet. I haven't tested it, but I know it's up and working. And let me see if I can get our Discord across the screen. Well,
I'm gonna test it, Evan. I'll be right back.
What do you check? Oh, the POAP. He's testing the POAP. All the effects that I'm getting. I've got the podium. I've got the cute leopard. I've got the gingerbread man. Oh my God! Somebody stop me before I turn myself into a gingerbread man, because I absolutely will. Dave says he got it. How did I know that Dave would have the fastest fingers on the POAP? And there are only a handful of them right now. We do print them in limited quantities, and we usually don't hit our cap. But if for some reason we do, I will request from the POAP people some more. And that's another great one. If you're learning about crypto, especially if you're hearing about NFTs, you want to learn about NFTs more. But you're worried about the risk of it. You're worried about speculating on a potentially worthless asset. I highly recommend you visit POAP, POAP .xyz. POAP is the proof of attendance protocol that makes our digital collectibles possible. It's totally free to use. They have a lot of documents that you can get up to speed with that are not overwhelming. And you can start collecting NFTs totally for free. You can start creating NFTs totally for free. These will be at the foundation of your experience as a consumer, as a collector. They will form a key part of your identity as the world continues to live online. So learning about NFTs is not the worst thing you could do. Thank you for checking. After you left, Dave reported he checked it too.
Yeah.
My suspicion is he's got token number 1.
Probably. He always
But
does.
we'll see.
Does it say like live pause when I do that?
It sure does. Do you hear me when you do that?
I can hear everything. It just pauses my video feed, I guess.
I don't know how to get text on here without changing my background, and I can't do that while we're live on the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a poll that says, "Did you join the Discord?" with a link. What? Hang on.
All right.
We have detected inactivity during your current live. Are you seeing this?
Nope.
Oh my God. I'm getting a puzzle on my screen that says they've detected inactivity during my. I had to just move a puzzle piece so I could keep us live, people. What is TikTok doing?
Dude, classic TikTok.
Are you ready to talk about crypto again? I feel like
Yes,
it's Schlums.
please.
Schlums is messing with my stream. It's the Gmail thing.
Please.
Also, how epic is
Anyway,
that? You know? Oh,
no,
okay.
it's cool.
Here.
Do you want to hit a couple news stories because there's one or two interesting things.
Yes, and I still had some gaming tidbits that I kind of wanted to wrap up,
Okay.
just with like fun examples. I know someone asked about Gala a while ago. Um, hang on, let me get this poll up. I can't talk and chew gum at the same time.
No, it's all good. While Evan's doing that, this is kind of funny. So at this point, Jim Cramer is 100% a meme in the crypto space. He is notorious. He's actually like one of the most accurate predictors of market movements because the second he says something, the opposite happens. And I believe that it is just purely despite that idiot. But so Jim Cramer, who is famous recently for saying Bitcoin is dead, this is the headline from the Cryptonomist. Jim Cramer, incredulous of the bull run, quote, "What has Bitcoin ever done for humanity?" That's pretty funny. He told investors in Bitcoin to famously sell everything that they had not too many months ago, and since then, the price of Bitcoin has risen almost 200% since he said that. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, wild.
It leads into lots of interesting questions. I think what has Bitcoin done for humanity. I think it's honestly a valid question. I think it's one that you can answer, but I think it's worthwhile just because there is still a lot of misconception around Bitcoin as an asset being exclusively just a Ponzi-nomic pyramid scheme, which I think is really easy to fall into just because there are so many Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes and MLMs and all of this crap in the crypto space. Like, it's pervasive. There are more of those than there are not those. However, I would say, I mean, pretty confidently that Bitcoin at this point is not one, and it has, I would say, had a net good on humanity. If you think about just like the basic layer of what it does, I don't know off the top of my head how many unique people hold Bitcoin, but it's not as many as should. So you have a decentralized peer-to-peer money system. Evan and I can pay each other for stuff without ever having to involve anything else. That's pretty cool. Like Wally just pointed out, an entire sovereign nation uses it as an official federally accepted currency. You can be paid in Bitcoin. You can transact in any store that accepts. Hey, stop that.
Give me Bitcoin.
She's been sitting here just chewing on my foot for the last 20 minutes, and she finally decided I've had enough of that. Time to eat the phone charger.
Alex, I know where you're going, and I want to invite you. Can we rapid fire it and back and forth and make it a game? Can you give one thing Bitcoin has done for humanity, and then I will do it, and whoever can't do it first loses?
Love it.
And okay, also, the Discord link is up here now. So if you need the link, just tap this little poll that exists above my head. It has a timer. I will start it again when it stops. Yeah, let's make it a contest. Okay, so you went first. You said El Salvador.
Yep.
So
well, we can say that I stole the first two, so perhaps you owe us two.
Yeah, so your two were.
I said,
give us the two.
Remove the middleman from financial transactions between buddies, and a sovereign nation is using it as their federal currency.
Okay, great. I will give you two. The first one is I'm going to say that Bitcoin eliminates. This is different from eliminating the intermediaries. It eliminates a lot of the energy of alternatives like cash. And my second one is because cash is as energy intensive as Bitcoin is, the cash system is considerably more energy intensive. The second one is green. Most Bitcoin mining done in a place like El Salvador, Bitcoin Beach, increasingly Miami, increasingly the United States, is green or green friendly, and will continue to become so, and is in fact pioneering use cases for green energy.
That's a
man.
great one.
Your turn, man. Your move.
All right. I'm gonna have to go with autonomy, financial autonomy for typically financially oppressed peoples. What I mean by that is that there are lots of places in the world where if you would like to send money to a family member, or if someone would just like to earn money for something or just keep money, Bitcoin has now given them an option to solitarily custody that money outside of the prying fingers of their greedy governments trying to take that from them. So financial autonomy and sovereignty.
Financial autonomy and sovereignty. I will also say Bitcoin has really done for humanity is tokenized money. Like, it has undoubtedly made money better because it is controlled by a computer code that no one, unless it's everyone, can alter, that no government can, change, confiscate, destroy on a whim. That, I think, was it William Quigley we were talking to when he said that alone would be enough to make it one of the biggest inventions ever.
Yes.
And I'm inclined to agree. Okay. So we're cranking. The chat is just like waiting. Everyone's like, oh my God, when are they going to run out of stuff Bitcoin has done for people?
Oh. Are we back? Are you back?
Did I go? Am I here?
You're back. I think you're back now. I just got the poor connection network thing.
Okay. No, but
are you good?
Tokenized money. It's revolutionized money. That's my next one. I'm losing track of what we said, but keep going.
No, it's good. I'm gonna say transparency, financial transparency.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nobody can lie effectively about their involvement with Bitcoin. You stalling, Wally, don't out me.
Look over there. It's a thing.
No, I would say transparency. It's verifiable. Anything that happens with Bitcoin can be verified by anybody, anywhere, anytime. So long as you can access the internet. If someone says, that they just paid so and so, however much, we can be like, okay, cool, prove it. And they don't have to sacrifice any personally identifiable information necessarily to let us prove it. They would just have to be able to point us to the transaction, and we could all verify it. Yeah. So transparency, financial transparency.
Okay, now I am stalling because all of mine are really abstract. I read this paper. This is the one I will concede to you. You win this one. Or maybe we've tied or something. But I gotta give you more. Every now and then. I think you've won like the last 3 things we've done, and I'm over it, man.
What can I say?
I read this paper.
Stop challenging me to stuff, Evan.
Hey, man, listen. I read this paper that was talking about how Bitcoin or something like it could be used in place of warfare. And I need to go back and find it because the argument was compelling, but that was going to be my next one. Hey, baby, how are you?
See what I'm dealing with? She's just sitting here chewing. She's discovered how to get into my office by herself. So now this is all.
Look at those saggy elbows. She looks good, man. She looks like she's mostly blood-free right now.
Well, because you can't see it. She split her front paw open yesterday, or a couple days ago.
Baby.
But anyway.
But the point of the story is that Bitcoin has done a lot for humanity that is novel, and also stuff that other people have been trying to solve, but has moved the needle forward on in unique ways. Other people have probably spoken more eloquently about it, but I like making it a, it's fun to make it a game. You
Yeah, I
said there
mean,
were a couple more news stories. I feel like the only news stories I really had were, the price action, places hitting all time
oh
highs,
no.
Pepe, whatever, Coinbase. I feel like that's the big. I don't know that there's any like secret news that we need to be worried about, concerned about, paying attention to at this time. Is there anything that came up for you?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
Elizabeth Warren's recent statements are worth visiting.
where did I go? What'd she say?
Just a bunch of bullshit.
Okay, take me on a visit
So
then.
she has indicated that she is willing to work with the crypto industry, provided strict adherence to traditional finance rules. All right, you need to go away. You're annoying me now.
What? Traditional finance rules? Okay,
Hang
let me
on.
see. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you've been here the whole time, I just love you. I appreciate you so much. Your attention is your most valuable asset, and it means a lot that you want to hang out with us. Help us out. Tap the screen. Share this with your friends who are watching somebody telling them to buy Dogecoin and then tomorrow telling them to sell it. And also, don't forget to jump in the Discord if you haven't yet. Discord.gg/the many, and I will pop it back up at the top of the screen so that you can see it. And then next time I'll see if I can't work out a little background so that everybody can just have the link all the time. There it is for 5 more minutes. It's fresh.
Okay.
And hey, Adriana, welcome back. So what's Elizabeth saying? She says, don't talk to me if you're not TradFi.
Yeah, basically just strict adherence with traditional finance rules, which is hilarious because we always thought she was the enemy of classic traditional finance and thought that it was super corrupt. Then she gaslights all of us really quick by saying she questions why the crypto sector believes that its survival depends on allowing illegal activities.
I'm sorry, what?
That is so obnoxiously disappointing to hear. Um, uh, and then she's introducing legislation extending anti-money laundering rules to crypto entities like miners and wallet providers. So yet again, trying to just crack down on like coders and softwares. And this is all from our favorite Senator Elizabeth Warren, the
Yeah.
progressive who is trying to fight the big banks and support the little guy, and just all of the bumper sticker bullshit that Elizabeth Warren has given us to get elected over the years, just very aggressively being put on blast, and we're all realizing that she's just full of it.
And you at one point supported Liz Warren. I mean, I was interested in her in terms of like a viable option for a presidential candidate.
Well,
But
yeah, because at the time, what we were being presented with, like when she was kind of first, making more of a name for herself, was a progressive, and I'm not. This is a topic for another day, but a progressive who was a little bit more baked into like the kind of antiquities of government. So you thought like maybe there's actually a chance that this older progressive could help kind of shoehorn the younger generation in. That was like the vibe that we were being presented with. And then blockchain and Web3 was like a perfect example, a perfect method, a perfect tool for her to really just like skyrocket that ambition. And when feet were put to the fire, she crumbled immediately and completely sided with traditional finance. And now, of course, it turns out that she just makes a tremendous amount of money, from traditional finance stuff. And Tori, I don't know if you know this, but actually nothing illegal ever happens with traditional finance. There is no crime. There's no lying. There's no money laundering. There's no
Nope.
illicit trading. There's no insider trading. These senators and Congress people have grown multi 8-figure net worths simply by being really frugal. And like they always tell us, if you just skip that Starbucks every week, all of a sudden you're going to be a deca millionaire. So just it's all on us. Quit buying that latte, and before you'll know it, you're going to be worth $80 million. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how can these fucking people say this stuff with a straight face? And then you realize you step back like one step further and you realize they don't have to say it with a straight face because they have been getting away with murder, so to speak. Well, literally, figuratively, who knows, forever, right? Like
Yeah.
she can come out and say all of this, but when she runs again as an incumbent, she will probably get elected again. Because that's just like the nature of the beast. Like these people can go out and just do things that are exactly the opposite of what they ran on so that they can keep the problem alive, so that they have something to run on again. They can blame it on the other side. Their supporters will eat that shit up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z, but those pesky Republicans or those pesky Democrats prevented me from doing it. Elect me again. I'll get it done this time. And then here we go. And so this crypto stuff is just like, it's just the next narrative to run on. Never saw
Another
It's just
boogeyman.
the next narrative to run on.
Yeah, and it's amazing how people, will fall for a story. Story is everything. And people are not given a good story by folks in our position who are too busy talking about Pepe or whatever. And naturally, then, the person in a suit who's on C-SPAN is just a little bit more reasonable. They talk a little slower. It reminds me of when they did the vice presidential debates in 2016. It was Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton and Mike Pence versus the gentleman's name escapes me. But I saw Mike Pence give one of the most lovely, soft-spoken, rational performances that was coherent and gentle and everything it needed to be. I have never seen something I disagreed with more ideologically that I thought was like better than his debate performance against Eric, what's his name, who just got flustered and seemed aggressive and unrealistic. You're talking about issues that most people have really no relationship to except how it affects them at a very bottom level. They're talking theoretically. It's like us talking about crypto. You know what I mean? They're talking about it in such a way that the only way people can understand them is, I'm just
Tim
a guy
Kaine.
like you. Tim Kaine. That's right.
Dude,
Forgettable.
if my
He
life
was forgettable
depended on
because
it,
if he had had a better debate performance, I would have remembered his name. All I remember is
if
that
my
he's the guy
life,
who was frustrated by Mike Pence.
dude, if my life depended on it, I would not have remembered Tim Kaine's name. That is how lame and vanilla white bread that
Have you ever seen Monty Python and the bridge they have to cross and the questions? What is your favorite color? Yellow, no. Blue, no. That would be my question. Is like, what was Hillary's vice presidential candidate's name in 2016? And I'd just be dead. I do have one piece of news real quick that's super easy. Just another fun thing for anybody who wants to get more involved in the crypto space, wants to see what this stuff could do beyond money. There's a great event happening right now and so many good talks about the next layer of the internet are happening at ETH Denver. If you're in Denver or the surrounding area, this is a free conference that happens every year. It's, for my money, it's the best crypto conference and it's free. It lasts usually like 3 weeks. They have a build-a-thon where programmers and developers come together in teams to launch a product from scratch. Then they have the conference itself, which is talks, panels, showcases, demonstrations of product. And they usually have a retreat afterwards too that people can go on that's more of the same, but just in Aspen. It's an awesome conference. They stream it on YouTube. If you just go to youtube.com/ETH Denver, they have labels about all the different stuff. And it's honestly, it's most of it is pretty nerdy, but all of it is valuable and exciting. And there's plenty of stuff that you can find that's not super. There's like an introducing Web3, decentralized access presentation. That would be great if you're a beginner. If you are someone like Adriano in the comments and you're like, no, man, I'm building a protocol, then maybe you need to watch the one about mastering the API and SDK of ERC4337. That would be a great one too. They've also got, panels on gaming, on the metaverse, on NFTs, on infrastructure, on scalability, impact, public goods. It is an awesome, awesome, awesome conference. So that's youtube.com/ETHDenver. It's free every year, happens in the spring. And if you can put up with Colorado in February, then I highly recommend it. I think it's a great time. Great time and cool people. And that's my news for the day. I have a couple links and stuff I can throw at people, but I'm just hanging now.
I'll rapid fire a couple of funny things, funny/interesting.
I hope they're funny.
Here's the headline. Evan, have you looked at crypto prices today?
No, I have not.
Okay, don't Google anything. Do you happen to know how much percentage-wise XRP is up today?
Up from 24 hours ago?
Yeah, do you have any idea? I'm not asking you to guess. I'm just asking you if you know.
I have absolutely no idea. I was guessing. No.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to guess in a second. Here's the headline. 18 million XRP eye an exodus from a major Korean exchange as the XRP price skyrockets.
I'm sorry. Read that again.
18 million XRP is potentially going to leave this big Korean exchange as the price of XRP skyrockets.
Okay, so it must have gone up more than 20%. I didn't think it moved yesterday. 3%? 300%? 3%?
No. 3%.
Who wrote that?
It's up from 58 cents to 60 cents. Dude, that's
like a new low of reaching into the barrel for a headline for the XRP community.
Yep. Oh my God. That's from you today. You today.
Me?
No, the website. Today. A huge crypto publication.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah,
everyone.
Did the meaning of skyrocket change? Story says? Agreed.
Apparently, yeah. Don't worry. Don't mind Evan. He's just having a tiny stroke. Okay. On the gaming note, if you've heard of Gods Unchained, which is it's kind of like the best way to describe it would be Magic Arena, the digital video game version of Magic the Gathering, but the blockchain version, the Web3 version. That's Gods Unchained. It hit iOS and Android mobile downloads today, so that's pretty cool.
Adriana says I played Gods. Cool.
I played it too. It's been out for years. It's a great game.
And Michael says, did you see what Michael said? Michael's here with us. Welcome, Mr. Michael Shoup. He says XRP, my favorite stablecoin.
What's funny is that it really should just be a stablecoin, or it's never going to get used the way that they want it to be used.
Oh my gosh. Michael, how are you, man? It's good to see you. I've got a voice by Alex coming to you soon. If you are not following Michael's endeavor, if you're in the Discord, you'll hear about this. But our friend Michael has just launched a startup. Hey, baby, what's up? Michael's there. He's not hanging out. Kim says hi, Michael. He says pink hearts. Michael is.
Hi, Kim.
What? Are you looking for her?
Hi, Kim.
Alex is looking for you too. She just says something. Well, and there's Lucy. You got the whole crew now. Michael is doing a really cool product called Podcrafter. Cool startup, awesome product where you can turn yourself into your newsletter into a podcast and turn yourself into a voice for it and have AI do it for you. And it is scary good. I cannot wait to see how good it becomes, with iteration and use. I did the recording for my voice last week. I sent Alex the script, hoping to get a little AI Alex and Evan to do bite-sized bits of crypto good stuff, little news, little 101 that can teach people, that can funnel them to the podcast, bring them to the community. So check out what Michael is doing at Podcrafter with no E at the end. PODCRAFTR. It's a partnership, I believe, with 11 Labs, right, Michael? And I do think that they are in beta. So you got to get a little link, but I'm sure Michael would be happy to send it to you. And Adriano, I'm glad to connect the two of you if he's left. So just, yeah, let me know. Absolutely. Tori has a great suggestion for our little podcast. Animate it with little avatars of us saying it. There's a creator I follow. Alex, do you know she's a gamer? B is her name, Eyes on B. She mostly plays RPGs, but she's got on her TikTok live streams, she has the game. And then instead of doing like her face in picture, she has this little cartoon avatar that speaks when she speaks, and like text to speech also in a little speech bubble. So my little speech bubble would be looking like me and saying this and moving. And I don't know if it's a Twitch thing and she's just streaming it to TikTok, but it blew my mind. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It makes it like watching like Mystery Science Theater instead of watching TikTok. I don't know how to explain it. I loved it. Tori, I would absolutely love a little avatar that said everything I said. Little Evan. But yeah, Michael, is Michael still here? Yeah, Michael's here. So yeah, Michael, I don't know if it's is it in your bio? I'm looking to see. That's Michael right there. Is Michael Shoup. Adriano, go ahead and connect with him. And I'm sure, I don't know, he'll send you a link.
In the vein, just to bring us home here, in the vein of talking about Elizabeth Warren being disappointing and talking about the comparisons and the contrast between traditional finance and decentralized finance, or centralized Web3 finance even, there's a headline. I haven't dug into this. I don't know how accurate this statistic is, but I'm sure it's probably like 31% of statistics made up on the spot, that says 70% of crypto users, this is from cryptonews.com, have never lost assets to phishing or hacks. So I think this is just a survey, but okay. So Wallet Connect surveyed users, and 14.4% said that they have lost crypto to a phishing attack. They have lost it due to a wallet app or a bridge hack. They were almost identical splits, 14.4%. And then 72.2%, which includes me, I would have said no to this, have never lost anything. So interestingly, if we were to extrapolate that to a crypto scam, yes, they've never lost their crypto to a crypto scam.
I thought you meant like I have never lost anything.
No.
Okay.
I'm sure I lost something this morning. I just haven't realized what it was. So anyway, that's pretty decent margins.
I don't honestly know enough about that kind of data to have a basis for comparison, but it seems optimistic to me.
I don't know, because there are certainly exploits.
Oh, yeah.
That happen routinely. I don't know. I would like to see more, like a wider survey sample for this.
Same.
Because I'd like to know how that's
stat. I would just generally like to see better research about like how risky is self-custody, for example, for the average person, not just for hacks and exploits, but like how many people lose their keys, how many people, you know what I mean? I think that's the kind of stuff. I'm sure there are there are probably presentations on it at East Denver, if I had to bet. Is that a more comprehensive report, or is that just like an article there?
No, that's just it. But then immediately contrast that by searching for the number of people in traditional finance who are the victims of scams, frauds, and phishing attacks, and it's more like the inverse of that. So estimates put the number of people who have been the victim of a financial crime, a scam, a fraud, phishing attacks, hacks, data breach that lost them money, is more than 60% of just Americans say they've been the victim of an online scam. That was a stat from 2019. Last year, and that being for 2022, this was published at the end of 2023. A CNBC report has consumers losing almost $6 billion to fraud in the year 2021, which is up 70% from the year prior. Obviously, hugely disproportional is the victim tilt towards senior citizens and people who are not as comfortable with technology, of course, because that's where almost all of this stuff happens. So it's just, I'm just really curious because Elizabeth Warren has like never gone this hard on doing something to protect, prevent, or educate people about financial crimes, scams, and frauds in traditional finance. Meanwhile, the facts are overwhelming. Billions of dollars with a resounding, gigantic letter B is lost every single year to people in traditional finance. And still another year comes and goes where Congress hasn't done shit about that. So I would, dude, at this point, I would pay money to go like sit down with Congress and just like, I request special permission to go down in a line and slap all of them across the face once to just jolt us all back to, like, guarantee that there's no camera. Like, I want this just for my own personal knowledge. Like, if you could put one of these senators or these congresspeople or these presidents in a room to be like, listen, absolutely nobody can hear anything you're saying. None of this will ever get out. You can throw me off a cliff at the end, but at this point, I just have to know you recognize that everything you say is bullshit, right? Like, you please, just for my own sanity, tell me that before you shoot me out of a cannon into the sun forever. Like, just tell me that you know you're grifting on all of these gullible people and that you know you're full of shit. Just to hear one of them say like, "Oh yeah, no, this is all bullshit."
Honestly,
and then
I would pay money to sit outside on the steps and watch you walk in and then just eat popcorn for the next 5 minutes before I watched you like sail over our heads, never to be seen again, like the Lorax kind of thing. You know, I'd go back to your house and I'd, help Christina with the dogs and stuff like that. It'd be good.
Satisfied in my knowledge that politicians are all bullshit and they know they're bullshit.
We could probably, I wish we lived closer. Because I feel like we could make a lot of really fun, like that would make a great video if we had like a dangly light bulb in a small office room with like a table and we could like do a good cop, bad cop skit about like, everything crypto people want to say to their congressperson, that would be fantastic. I imagine you with like your sleeves rolled up and a dangly cigarette, like putting it out in their coffee, like kind of thing, before you go absolutely nuts. I would have to be the good cop. Or
so
maybe not, I don't know.
It's not common practice yet, but I wonder the percentage of people who either own or utilize crypto at the moment. Estimates are around 4%.
Mm-hmm.
Of the global population has used or interacted with or held cryptocurrency at some point. Around 400 million people.
Now, keep in mind here that right now, more people on Earth have access to the internet than have access to clean drinking water. There are about 2 billion people who are unbanked. And a lot of the folks in crypto are talking about how do we solve these kinds of problems. The people who are on the internet, they're going to get it. I think it will happen slowly and then all at once because, Charles Hoskinson has been, LARPing over in Africa for at least 5 years now, building infrastructure. I have no doubt that somebody somewhere is going to WorldCoin. I think crossed 100 million something threshold tokens purchased or some sort of milestone that had to do with 100 million. So it's moving in that direction, definitely.
Anyway, Evan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling well met, man. I want to tell people if you need some more from gaming, some things to check out since we don't have the newsletter up and running yet. Otherwise, I would put it there. I think some fun, cool crypto games that happened this year were Sperm Game. Google it. Probably not at work. And Crypto the Game. It was like Survivor meets Crypto. And they just finished the first season. I'm going to apply for the second season. I didn't know about it or I would have applied. And then obviously, if you're not in the Discord, jump in the Discord. I have linked it right up here. You got to write it down the old-fashioned way. I will try and find a more seamless way to make it happen. Discord.gg/the many. The only question I have for you, Alex, come in there and we'll talk about gaming. We're working on the Shades of Sin, all that stuff. We want you there. It's free. It's fun. Come hang out. The only question I have for you, Alex, is what are we going to talk about next week? I feel like we were going to talk about security or something like that when I said, oh, let's do gaming. And maybe if we talk about that, we can talk a little about mining or something as part of it, because staking, mining secures the network. I don't know.
I was going to suggest that we do a bit of a recap week and we kind of touch on, again, the finer points of all of the stuff that we've covered. So I think gaming is a good example for just like general everyday lives use cases of this technology. Like why could it matter? Why does it matter? Beyond just speculative investments. And then we've talked about wallets and setting up a wallet and using a wallet. I think it would be cool to like maybe set up a couple profiles on like other wallets and just demo like the difference between the Phantom UX. I just made a wallet on the Uniswap app, the new one. And it was a phenomenal experience. It was like one of the best wallet app experiences I've ever had. It was so fast, so easy. It looked awesome. You still have to deal with gas fees, which are garbage, but it was a cool experience. And just kind of go through some basic like wallet stuff. I think that'd be a good time to also talk about general user security and approving transactions and analyzing this stuff and yada, 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 all that sort of stuff. I think like mining and staking would be a good one to touch on to some new information. Markets are hot. There's a lot of extra attention on it. So I think a recap would probably be a good call.
Yeah, that sounds good. And of course, we want you guys to join us with your questions. If you have got the requisite followers, please feel free. Adriano, if you want to share something, come on up. We'd love to have conversations with our friends. We'd love to make it valuable for everybody here who joins us every week. Brett says, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about staking. We can definitely talk about it. And when we do, it'll be right here, Monday through Thursday, same time, same place, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Join us in the Discord. I'll say it one more time, discord.gg/the many. The secret word for today is rebirth in honor of Final Fantasy VII's launch. Go play it. Go collect your POAPs. And we'll see you in the Discord, my friends. These episodes will be up a little bit later today. And I just appreciate you. Thank you so much, Alex. Yes, what do you got?
Last note, just for anyone.
Yes.
Starting pretty soon here, Mihir is back. And so the episodes that get uploaded to YouTube will not just be single video files that are almost 2 hours long.
Yeah.
They will be edited. They will be cut up into pieces. There will be smaller clips with very specific topics, so you won't have to scrub through a whole thing to try to find that one 30-second soundbite that you actually wanted to re-listen to. So bear with us as we get that set up. But coming to YouTube probably, I would say, into March. Maybe midway through March. And then, like we said, thanks to Michael and Podcrafter, we will be turning these into little mini baby podcasts. So stay tuned for way more digestible post-stream content. If you can't make the live stream, if you can't be here for the entire time, but you wanted to hear something later, that's going to be a massive improvement. So
yeah, and the newsletter. We get it. Everybody's got a newsletter. We're sick of them, but we're also going to add like a weekly, infrequent, super brief, valuable newsletter that's going to have like, this was the airdrop we mentioned. Here's the website. This was the video whatever. Like just the highlights and maybe an extra secret word, maybe a quest. As we start to get more sponsors, we're going to put the affiliate links we get from folks like Ledger and Trezor there. If we're having a giveaway, we'll put it there. The goal is just to make this the best show on the blockchain so that nobody has any reason to listen to their nephew Carl, who's telling them yet again to buy Dogecoin. Not that there's anything wrong with it. You're having a good day if you're holding Doge, but we just know there's so much more. So give us your feedback on that. Shout out to the folks who are helping us, Michael, Tori, everybody who's been a part of the community so far has just done a lot to make this show awesome. And you too, man. So thanks for doing the show with me. It's great.
Of course.
Until next time, my friends, rise up.